All right, so let's talk some Jake Paul, Mike Tyson.
The question's simple, again, based on this debate. Do you think it's going to break streaming records? And do you think this is a bigger fight as far as intrigue, bigger than McGregor-Mayweather? And when you think about it, they kind of started this circus, right? This sideshow. And that was a good fight.
I enjoyed it. We were in Vegas. I remember seeing money team and, Irish dudes with flags on their back. Vegas.
McGregor looked good in the beginning, and then he got gassed, and then, Mayweather showed why he's elite and the difference between boxing and UFC. He dominated those later rounds, but it was a fun, entertaining fight. It was fun. McGregor's in the news not only because he's got a movie out, but he's saying that no one cares about this Jake Paul fight, not the way they cared about his fight against Mayweather. And Jake Paul had some stuff to say about it. If you missed it, take a listen.
So, Conor, you're saying the interest is low for the fight, but the last fight you announced, there was 1,000 articles written in a multiple day span to, people talking about your last fight. In that same multiple day span, there was 10,000 articles written about this. So no fight ever has done these numbers in terms of like face-off views, like Instagram reels. Just on our main pages alone, it's like 50, 60 million Instagram views on both of our posts, not to mention every single other sports page posting it. That's never happened in the history of the sport to reach those numbers. So this is, in my mind, the biggest fight the world will ever see.
And I agree with them. I really do, because it reels in the casual fan. Casual boneheads who don't necessarily care about boxing are going to be enticed and intrigued to watch this with their pals, turn on Netflix, have some people over, let's make a party out of it. It's fun. The intrigue, the age difference, the generational personalities involved. And then the average actual fight fan is going to tune in. But again, your mom's going to tune in, and your younger brother's going to tune in. Everybody's going to watch this fight, so I agree with them.
Now, I know it's not streaming, but if you want to go to old school broadcast television, the stats are pretty funny because it just shows you the power of that one Sunday in February, the Super Bowl. Of the 30 most watched events in U.S. history, 27 of the 30 are Super Bowls.
What's the other three, like the Friends finale?
The MASH finale?
The MASH finale?
The moon landing.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
And I can't find the other. It's probably like the Friends finale or something.
Who shot JR?
Finale.
Who shot JR?
Yeah, that.
But, I mean, the Super Bowl, that's network, hundreds of millions of people, right?
Right, and this is before we had all these other crazy options, so the whole country was tuning in. We didn't have as many options and streaming options as we do today.
But when you're talking globally, when silly shows like Love is Blind or, like Chris Rock's live comedy special or when Chappelle drops a new special, these things get a lot of viewership.
Right.
Because it's global.
Yep.
You don't think Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, for free? When I say for free, I just mean you're not spending $80, $90. You have Netflix, right?
Right.
I have Netflix.
I mean, that is a big difference, though, because you would imagine this is close to $100 fight, at least $75, maybe $85 fight just based on the hype. So the fact that you are going to save that money, there's something to be said about that because most people, a lot of people, I should say, have Netflix already or know somebody that does.
I mean, the reality is I would have spent $100.
Or you just invite somebody, and I'm sure that somebody has a username and password they could enter their information in, no?
It is absolutely going to be the most watched event streamed ever.
Well, here's why, too. Like him or not, you don't have to like Jake Paul. I don't necessarily like him. I don't hate him either, though. But like him or not, there's so many people out there with millions of followers and millions of maybe even subscribers to their YouTube page, but they don't get the engagement. They don't get any engagement. You have to look at that. It matters. It matters in our world.
It's the biggest thing.
It's the biggest thing. It's like, hey, we might not have millions of followers, but the ones that do, they listen for a long time and they engage. They show up to our events, right or wrong.
And they put our codes in when we do commercials.
Exactly.
It's
Jake
engagement.
Paul, what makes him really intriguing and interesting is he has a lot of followers, but he has a lot of engagement. People care about this dude.
They
That's
follow
the difference.
his
They
lead.
follow him. They'll watch his fight. They'll sign up to see what he does. That's what makes him who he is. So
why do you think a lot of these influencers aren't headlining big movie theater movies?
they don't have that engagement. They may have the numbers. For all we know, those are fake numbers, inflated numbers. I don't know, because it doesn't make sense. Here's some homework. When you're on the bowl later, Danny G, look up someone who has a lot of followers, maybe 2-3 times more than we do. Their viewers, their comments, their likes, less than ours. And we have way less followers than a lot of these
find
people.
shows with like a million followers. A million followers doesn't mean
It's the engagement that matters. Jake Paul has engagement.
Here are some Netflix stats for you. Season 6 of Love is Blind easily led Nielsen's original streaming series rankings for February 12th through the 18th, drawing 907 million minutes of viewing time in the U.S. alone.
That's insane.
You know, we had someone argue with us on our Facebook page yesterday saying, you guys never talk about hockey, but you'll mention Love is Blind. And I said, I bet you. It's embarrassing to say, but I could promise you more people in this room and listening to Fox Sports Radio have probably watched Love is Blind more than a hockey game in the last month.
I don't think there's any question.
Hockey fans are loyal. But I don't, you got to remember, what are people really watching?
Nonsense like that, for sure.
907 minutes of, come on.
Engagement. And Jake
907
Paul
million?
brings that. Not every popular influencer has that sort of engagement. They just don't.
NHL on ABC, they average 1.1 million viewers, and Love is Blind averages 6.3 million viewers.
I mean, that's ridiculous. Put that in perspective. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Not proud of that, but the facts are the facts. So Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, July 20th, where will you be? Will you be watching?
I think you will.
Will it break streaming records? Question number one. Question number two, is it a bigger fight than McGregor-Mayweather? I'd have to say yes. You got to give credit to McGregor and Mayweather for taking that first step and risking that. It was big. It really was. And it was fun. But this Jake Paul-Tyson thing, put it from this perspective. People always say that you only care about heavyweights anyway. So Mayweather alone is never bigger than Mike Tyson. No way. People love heavyweight fights.
And it's a great opportunity to have a party. In fact, I've already put it out there that unless we're actually at the fight, because I still would love to go, but if we're not there,
Texas, let's go.
If we're not there at Jerry's home, if we're not in Dallas for this one, this is going to be a free-for-all. Pool party, have people over, barbecue. I'm going to invite like everyone I know. Come on over. This is an event you're going to want to watch.
It's stupid. I agree, but it's going to be fun.
Mike Tyson, Jake Paul for free, essentially. Because you have Netflix.
I have Netflix.
I mean, if it was $100, you might say, I don't know.
I want to eat his children.
I've seen Mike Tyson. He's done doing the hot boxing podcast. Maybe he's more focused now. Maybe he's finding those old school inner Mike Tyson demons.
People love.
Gonna get all mad again?
People love to point out how quick and how good he looks hitting the pads. So did Evander Holyfield before his last ridiculous fight, too. So don't put so much weight on that. I don't think that really tells the full story when you have a young, strong Jake Paul coming at him,
but
throwing
also,
hard punches as well.
Keep in mind, Jake Paul, the only person that ever beat him was like a mediocre fighter, Tommy Fury.
True.
He's never been in the ring with a Mike Tyson.
But he's been fighting not professional boxers, professional fighters.
Yeah, that are
right.
also
He's knocking
over the
them
hill.
out. Dude, Tyson's old. All right, so we'll see. But that's the intrigue. That's why I think it will break streaming records, and that's why I think McGregor's wrong in this case. And you know what? Maybe McGregor's just throwing it out there because he knows it's going to gain some attention and promote his movie. which is not on my list of things you need to watch this weekend based on the feedback. Even our buddy Spot was saying he heard it's terrible. I'm hearing it was kind of weak.
Roadhouse.
And the other story is that McGregor said after Roadhouse, he's got a lot of other roles lined up anyway. So maybe he's just doing that to promote his movie. It's good to talk about it, Jake Paul.
But ladies, if you like Conor McGregor, apparently he's showing his cheeks in this, right?
Yeah. He's full on.
A lot of man butt in
A lot of man
Roadhouse.
cheek if you want to watch that this weekend.
All right.